everyone and welcome to my Flosstube channel. My name is Lauren, but I am also known as Stitch Bunny here on YouTube and also over on Instagram. It's lovely to be chatting with you today. Today is the 2nd of June. This Flosstube is a day or two later than I would usually film. I try and keep my my videos to either the very last day of the month or the very first day of the month. But a few things have gotten in the way over the last couple of days. So yeah, it is the 2nd of June, a couple of days late, but here I am. Flosstube number 12 was on the 17th of May, so that was 16 days ago. And this is episode number 13. So yeah, not a number that everybody likes, but it's going to be a lucky number for someone because today is the day that I will be drawing and announcing the winner of the Cross Stitch for the Heart book giveaway. So please stick around for that in case you have won. We will be doing that giveaway draw just a little bit later. But first, let's get on with my May Stitchy updates. So, in the month of May, I have managed to do just under 62 hours of stitching, and 28 of those hours have been done since Flosstube number 12 was filmed. So yes, I've got 28 hours worth of stitching to show you, and that's split over 5 projects. I have 2 new starts to show you, 1 finish and 2 whips. I will start with the new starts, and the first new start that I started was this lovely We Rise by Lifting Others design, and this is from the Cross Stitch for the Heart new book that I showed you in a lot of detail in last month's episode. Last time's episode. It wasn't a month ago, it was 2 weeks ago. So yeah, in my last episode I showed you the full run through of this beautiful new book, and I have started that design number 12, which is We Rise by Lifting Others. Now this had not been called for my WIPGO, but I did have a couple of options on my WIPGO board for starting any Emma Congdon design, so I've managed to tick that off my WIPGO even though it's not been called yet. So when it does get called, it's already done, because this is well over 10 hours. I think this is probably like 12 or 13 hours that I've done on this. And this is my progress so far. So if you follow me on Instagram, you will have already seen the lovely deer previously, because I did post a picture when I'd finished stitching the lovely deer, but I've since started the wording, so I've got Lifting Others on there, and I've started all the foliage down the bottom, and most of that is actually done now really. All I've got left to do is fill in quite a lot more of this blue, which is 2 different blues together, not a blend, but just 2 different colours of blue that kind of travels in lines, diagonal lines, and will just completely fill in behind these trees. And that is going to be pretty much the majority of the bottom page done. Like, this design is over 2 pages, and all that's left to do other than that blue bit of background at the bottom here is to put the attribution of the quote here to the person the quote is from. I can't off the top of my head remember who that was, I'm sorry, but yes, I just need to fill in the quote attribution here in backstitch, and then the fox on top of the deer, like his lower half is here, the lower half of the fox, so that will be the whole of the bottom page done once I've done that half of the fox, the little bit of backstitch here, and then I will be on to page 2. So yes, that is really exciting. This is being stitched on a 14 count from my stash, that is just like an ivory colour. In fact, when it was folded up, like when the material was folded in my stash, it looked a little bit more yellow, but then when it's unfolded, it is just like an off-white sort of ivory colour. Yes, that's 14 count, and I'm stitching this with all the called for DMC except for 1 colour. So just a heads up, I know that a lot of you are really looking forward to the release of this book, and I would just say double check when you are kitting up that the colours that you are kitting up with according to the reference key do marry up with the colours in the model stitch design, because I noticed when I was kitting for this that the thread number that was noted down for this darker purple in the deer, when I looked in my stash, it was actually a yellow thread, and I was like, well, that's not right because there's no yellow in the deer. And I realised, yeah, there is a print error on this particular pattern key. I think it's 3825. I will just check that really quickly, because I know that a lot of you had said that when you get the book, this is one of the particular patterns that you're hoping to start first. Yes, it's 3825, and the symbol is an F, a capital F for Freddie. So yes, if any of you are planning on stitching the Rise by Lifting Others design from the book, thread 3825 in the book is a misprint, and therefore I'm not sure what purple it's supposed to be, but I just pulled one from stash that seemed to work. Like just by eye, I just looked at the model stitch and pulled something from stash that looked to me like it would work. And that is what I've gone with, and that is what I'm working with, and I'm happy with how it's turning out. I have contacted the publisher, so I did get in touch with David & Charles Publishing and just mentioned that I'd found that print error, and I'm sure that they will somewhere issue like a correction. I'm sure that that will be somewhere soon, hopefully before it's actually released. But yeah, just be mindful. And I must say, in any of the patterns that I've ever stitched from Emma's 2 previous books, I've never come across an error. Obviously I've not stitched all 20 designs from each of those 2 books, but I have stitched a fair few and I've never come across an issue. So I would say that probably it's just unfortunate, and hopefully that is the only error in the book. But just be careful that you don't end up starting your deer in yellow and not realising, otherwise you'll have quite a lot of frogging to do. So that was my new start number 1. My second new start is this kit by Heritage Crafts. So this is a fish and chips full coverage. It's quite a small full coverage. I think it's going to be like 20 by 10 centimeters or thereabouts when it's finished, so it's not huge. And I got the 14 count Ada version of the kit, although it also comes with an even weave option. And when I ordered this, I thought to myself, with it being like a full coverage, there was no need for me to go for even weave. I just assumed that it would all be full stitches, but it is not. So I have started it, and make sure I get this the right way around. I have started it, and in actual fact, there are quite a lot of fractional stitches in this. It's not a full coverage that is just made up of full stitches. So I kind of wish that I had gone for the even weave option. It would have made those like quarter stitches and half stitches that I'm having to do a little bit easier, but nonetheless, I am really happy with the progress that I have made on this so far. I started off with this big chunk of the blue here, which is all just sky. This is the start of the chips that they are eating, and this here is one of the gulls, like the white and the blue here. There are some blended threads in this blue section, so 2 different shades of blue together. But yeah, I'm really enjoying working on this one. A lovely new start, and I was not intending for this to be my second start. So as you'll be aware from my last video, every Monday in the month of May I have been trying to have one new start. That was my plan for joining in Stitchmania. So this was my last Monday of the month, so a few days ago on the last Monday of May is when I started this. My original intention was to start my spring seasonal band sampler by the Tiny Modernist, but I'm having real trouble choosing and deciding on a fabric for it, and then I went through my stash and found a fabric that I liked for it, but I only had that fabric in 14 count, and I would prefer to do it on either a 16 count or a 32 count. So yeah, I've shelved it until I get the fabric for that. And I started this in its place, which although this was not on my WIPGO as a specific project, I did have one WIPGO goal to start any project with an animal theme. This has all the seagulls in. They're birds, but they're animals. So I'm counting this as my animal start. So once I've done 10 hours on this, I will be able to tick off another WIPGO goal, even though it's not been called yet. So yes, that is my second start to show you. Existing whips that I've just been carrying on with, I pulled out my beautiful Letistitch Tiger for some attention. I think it's been an episode or two since I last showed this to you. So this is my full coverage Curious Tiger. I am stitching this on the 16 count easy grid Ada that it came with, which is very lovely, very easy to work on, and I'm not sure that you will see too much of a difference versus last time I worked on it, but I have just been filling in a few bits slowly but surely, and overall I think I've added about 200 to 300 stitches into this since the last time you saw it, so not an overall massive visual difference, but I am plugging away at it, and just didn't want to go a month without touching this because it is one of my favourites at the moment. I do love it. Anything else to say about this one? I don't think so. I will pop a picture up of what it will look like when it is fully complete. But yeah, just a really colourful design, and I enjoyed picking this up again. I think it might have been around a month since I touched it, so it was nice to pick that up. And then my next whip was my Whimsical Alphabet, and last time I showed you this I had partially started the cat and I had done most of the crosses, but she needed all her backstitch and lettering, and still some of the crosses were not complete. And now she is finished, so you can see her there alongside the other two. She is just absolutely lovely, and I just love this alphabet so very much. I know that you have seen the ballerina and the bee before, but they're just so pretty with all the sparkles. I think there's like 3 different colours of metallic, a pink, a blue and a gold. And yes, this is just a lovely project. I am really enjoying stitching on this so much. As always, the backstitch was a pain on that C, but well worth the effort. I'm really pleased with how this is turning out. This design is by Demina, Little Room in the Attic. It is available now for purchase. It was a free stitch along when I downloaded the patterns, but it is now over, it's finished, but you can buy it as a complete pattern. And I think I did go and have a look at the complete pattern that's now for sale on her website. I think it's £25 to buy the entire pattern of all 26 letters, and that's not a kit, that is just the pattern. I am stitching this on 16 count opalescent silver, which is quite sparkly. I'm sure if you can see, it's very pretty fabric. This is the not quite perfect 16 count fabric, but as you can see, it's perfect for this type of pattern. Like, there is no issue at all. My characters look lovely, they don't look distorted in any way, so very pleased with that. The next piece of stitching I have to show you is my single finish for the month, and it was really lovely to have a finish because I feel like I've not had one for a while. I think my last finish was in March, and I had a few finishes in March, I think maybe 4 finishes in that month, and then nothing since then, so I was due one. I'm just holding this against the board because I think, ooh, try again. Holding this against the board because I think you'll be able to see it a little bit better. So this is my finish on the cross stitch for the heart, design number 5 from Emma Congdon's new book. And I love it. Just come out a bit, and then I think you can see the fabric a bit better if it's further away, but I stitched this on 14 count Dreaming in Colour fabric from my own website, which I think has worked out really well. I am so happy with the fabric choice on this. And it says, I love you for all that you are, all that you have been, all that you are yet to be. Isn't that just absolutely beautiful? Absolutely love this piece. Really pleased to have a finish. And that is all of my stitching for today. So yeah, I feel like I've got through that pretty quickly today actually. Moving on to just a roundup of WIPGO progress for May. So in May overall, my goals that were called were to start my patchwork turtle. I showed you that in Flosstube 12 and ticked it off because I got my 10 hours in on that piece. Start any Rendale start, and I started my grow your own bunny with all the vegetables, and again I ticked that off because I did my 10 hours. And then my third goal, because there were 3 WIPGO calls for May, was the Tiny Modernist, which I've explained why I haven't started that this month, although it was very much my intention. I don't want to start it unless I've got the right fabric, and I didn't want to sub for something else that I wasn't as happy with. So that will be started hopefully this month going forward in June. But I feel pretty good about my May WIPGO progress because I've crossed off 2, and the one that I've not started I've replaced with others. And I've got that Emma Congdon finish, which is a tick because I had 2 squares in total on my WIPGO. Both of them were to start a brand new Emma Congdon and do at least 10 hours. And obviously for my finished one, I've done 10 hours on that and it's a finish. And then I've started the Rise by Lifting Others piece. So effectively, even though I didn't start the WIPGO goal for the Tiny Modernist, I've ticked off 2 others that are just done. Then when the June WIPGO calls got called by Jessie a few days ago, the 2 that popped up for me were very easy ones, because one I have already finished, which was just 2,500 stitches to be added to my Koi Dragon, and I've already done it. So I was just able to switch that immediately from yellow to green, and it's done. My second call for June is to do 5 hours on my Bothy Autumn Love Tree, and I should easily do that, like 5 hours. In the whole month of June. I just need to pick it up, make sure that I stitch on that, and that will be crossed off and should leave me plenty of time, hopefully, to get the fabric for my Tiny Modernist start and begin that and cross that off for May. I will just be doing it a little bit behind, but I should also have caught up with that goal by the end of June. So yes, I'm very happy with my progress this month. In terms of haul, I just have a little bit of haul to show you today, and it's all based on a singular theme, or should I say it's all kits from one particular brand, which is Heritage Crafts, and they are all Karen Carter designs. Do have to do a little bit of a shout out and acknowledgement here. So it was Somerset Stitchers on Instagram, back in January. She stitched a really lovely Heritage Crafts design by Karen Carter called The Sewing Room. I won't share her Instagram posts of it here because I have not asked her if that's okay, but I would very much encourage you to go and check out her Instagram if you do not already follow her. She stitches a beautiful range of different designs. She is also doing the Whimsical Alphabet sale. She does loads of other things that are either already in my stash or on my list. Like in some respects, we have similar taste in quite a few of the things that we stitch, and her Instagram grid is just lovely, beautiful variety of stitching. So yeah, definitely check her out. But yes, so I saw the Karen Carter design that she stitched back in January of the Sewing Room, and it really caught my attention, caught my eye. Did a bit of looking round and realised that Karen Carter has a bunch of designs that I really wanted to stitch. The fish and chips that I started was part of my haul. That is one of the ones that I bought, and I had actually had my eye on that for a really long time, probably a couple of years. That had been on my wish list, but I didn't realise it was a Karen Carter design. I'd just seen it on eBay or somewhere, when just searching generally for cross stitch stuff, and liked it. And it was when I saw Somerset Stitchers stitching that sewing room design, and I searched for the Heritage Crafts Karen Carter, and that fish and chips popped up, and I realised, oh, it's by the same person. And then there was a load of other designs that I bookmarked, and Cotton Club Crafts have just had a very recent sale on Heritage designs, so they already offer really competitive pricing. Some of the best value pricing that I have seen on the Heritage kits, but in addition to that, they recently had a 20% further discount sale, which unfortunately by the time I'm filming this, I think that has ended, but I was lucky enough to do a bit of shopping in that sale and take advantage of it. So I got the fish and chips design that I have started, and then I got this Happy Hens design, which I just love. I love chickens. I also got Chicken Run. You can see here. So 2 chicken themed designs. And then I got On the Beach, which has little seagull in it and lots of beach themed stuff. And then the last 2 that I picked up are very in keeping with the fish and chips design I'm doing at the moment. So this one is called the Chip Shack, and I just love it. I mean, there is a lot of backstitch detail in here, but I just think that is such a fun design with the seagulls outside the Chip Shack. And this one is very similar. This is called Bay Watching, and again is the seagulls and some boats on the shoreline, their fishing nets. Yeah, and I just love these 2 in particular, and think they will go so nicely with the fish and chips that I'm doing at the moment. And I am glad to say that I had ordered both of these ones in the even weave option, and this one. I'd ordered all of these in even weave, which I'm really happy about, because as I said, when I started the fish and chips one, there ended up being a lot of fractional stitches, and stitching fractional stitches does not bother me in itself, but I just wish that I had ordered the even weave for that kit, which I hadn't. This On the Beach one, I did actually order the even weave as well, and accidentally got sent the 14 count, which I did notice, but I emailed Cotton Club and they were brilliant in saying that they will just send out a piece of the even weave for me straight away. So yes, there was a little mistake with my order, but they have addressed it really quickly and resolved it. Obviously it's a bank holiday here in the UK this weekend, so that has not arrived yet, but I know that it has been dispatched and sent to me, so when that comes I can do that one on the even weave as well. Oh, and then just because I was on a bit of a heritage binge, I then did find these 2 kits on eBay that were being sold as a pair, and these were a really good price. I could not say no. So this one is just the word relax with lots of cats and this is No Place Like Home with some pretty plants and little birds. These are on 14 count Ada. It would have been my preference to go for the even weave on these, but like I said, they were just from a random eBay listing and the price was really good for the 2 together, so I will just manage with stitching on the Ada. That is not a problem. That is all of my haul. Moving on to the giveaway winner. So we had the giveaway competition in episode 12 for this lovely book, and this is my copy, but I have another copy that I will be sending to whoever wins this draw. I have not done the draw yet, so I'm just going to go onto my phone right now and just going to find Flosstube 12 very quickly and open up the random comment selector. YouTube, so let's have a look. Tell you what, I'm just going to cut for a minute while I actually set this up. So it's the word heart that I'm going to be searching for. I'm just going to set that up now, and then I will be back in one moment and we will do the draw. 1 second. So I think I have set that up right now. You can just see here on my phone, I hope you can see, there were 112 comments. And the winner is Rachel. Hope you can see that there. If it's a bit funny, because it's recording my phone screen a bit funny, then I will just insert a screenshot instead. But the winner is Rachel Lean, and I actually know Rachel because I met her at the retreat that I went to in April, the No Band retreat. So hello Rachel. We were even sat on the same table, so it's lovely that Rachel has won. And Rachel said, "This is such a great book. I love how the sentiments come from the heart." And her favourite pattern was the Stars Are Openings one that she can't wait to stitch. So yeah, well done Rachel. It's also really lovely that you have won just because of the happy coincidence that I actually know you personally, we've met, so that's really nice. I was going to say everybody, I was going to say that when somebody wins, email me, but as I am connected with you anyway, I will just pop you a message to get your address, Rachel, and well done. To everyone that has not won the giveaway, I'm sure that you will all still be pre-ordering the book if you have not already. It is beautiful, it is lovely, you will not be disappointed. And yes, I did provide some links in my last video for where you can order from. I will provide them again under here. Obviously you can pre-order it on Amazon, but there are a couple of other websites that are offering pre-order as well, one of which does free worldwide delivery. So yeah, that might be a good option for some of you that are not based in the UK, especially if you prefer not to shop with Amazon. So I will provide those links below. Do go ahead and pre-order it. I hope to be seeing plenty of people stitching all the lovely things in this very soon. The release date is the 12th of July, I believe it is. I'm pretty sure it's July. So yes, not too long to wait for all your copies. I would just like to finish with doing a couple of other shout outs before I move on to a very quick life update. So I would first like to give a shout out to Stitch Witch Hazel on Instagram. I will just insert her name so you can see it. And thanks to Hazel, I have discovered a new designer that I was unaware of before called the Snowflower Diaries. So Stitch with Hazel posted up a lovely picture of a bear design and I fell in love with it immediately. It was a seasonal piece with June written on it, but just looking at it, I just thought that even without the month wording, like without the June text on there, it was just a beautiful pattern of a bee with like some hives of honey and bees and things. I just thought it was beautiful. And I looked up the designer, having seen it on her page, found their blog, and really happily, like that particular bear and bees design was part of a sale, a free sale offered on the designer's blog. It was called, I think, the Joyful World sale, and it was from 2016, but all the patterns are still there, they're still on the blog and they're still available, which made me so happy. So I had a look at the other 11 as well, and I don't think that I will stitch all 12 of them with their monthly names on them, but there was at least 4 or 5 that I loved and would like to stitch just as pictures without the reference to the particular month on. There's one with beautiful flamingos on that I loved, the bear, and then quite a few others. So yes, if you are not aware of the Snowflower Diaries, definitely check them out. I will put a link to their page below and a link to their blog. I'll pop up a picture as well just so you can see the bear pattern that I have been talking about. But yes, I love discovering new designers that I am not aware of, and that was one that really caught my eye, and I think a lot of you may like it as well. The designs are just beautiful, they're cute, and well worth having a look. I would like to also shout out to a couple of Flosstubers. So the first one would be the Tiny House Stitcher, who I have only recently discovered on YouTube. I think she is up to episode 7 at the moment on Flosstube, so if you are not already following her, there are not too many episodes to catch up on, but guaranteed you will love and enjoy every episode. I think I discovered her channel, I think it was like episode 4 maybe, popped up in my feed, and I've gone back to the beginning and watching them all through. She stitches such beautiful projects, such a beautiful variety of stitching, and definitely well worth a watch. Yeah, loving your channel. I would also like to shout out to Teresa Letistitch, just to say how happy I am to be able to watch her videos again. Teresa has had a little break from Flosstube and from social media, which I'm sure many of you have noticed if you also follow her, and I had missed seeing her content. You know, she does a wonderful mix of her own stitchy updates along with quite informative videos on, like, you know, how she organises her threads or how to approach doing full coverage if you've never done one before. But yeah, I've missed seeing her updates, and it's been a real treat over the last month, because I think Teresa was supposed to be attending the April retreat that I went to, but couldn't make it due to a variety of different reasons. So she missed the retreat, but she did do a Flosstube instead when she should have been at the retreat, and since then I think she's then done like 4 or 5 new videos, so it's been a real treat in like a 4-week period after having like a 3 or 4 month drought of no new content. There have been like 5 or 6 new videos in the last month from Teresa. I am really enjoying them. She stitches the most fabulous stuff. In her latest Mania update video, do you know, there's a beautiful long dog, a chatelaine design, a beautiful Bella Filipina that she's made a start on, heaven and earth designs, just so many beautiful things. I'm sure that if you're watching my Flosstube, you're already aware of her and probably already following her, but if you're not, then definitely go and take a look. Her channel is amazing. And I think that is everything that I wanted to cover off in this episode. So just as a really quick life update for myself, it is currently the bank holiday. It is the Jubilee bank holiday weekend here in the UK. Sadly, our village does not have too much going on for it, which is really disappointing, to be honest. But there is going to be like some live music in the village, so we may wander down and just have a little look at that. Go and have a listen, have a walk around. My kids had a Jubilee party at nursery a couple of days ago. That was absolutely lovely because the nursery is closed for the rest of the week because of this bank holiday. So they had their party a bit earlier, and there was like a red bus for them to play on, strawberries and cream. They did some cute little singing and songs about the Queen that they had learned. They had painted like some little tiles as like to mark the occasion, like a memory tile with like the details of the Queen's reign on, and just some cute things like that. And yes, they had a great time at that. So other than that, don't think too much exciting has been going on for me. We have puppies in the house at the moment again. Don't know whether I mentioned when these lot were born. We are registered licensed breeders and we do have several litters a year. I'm not sure if I notified you that we have had new arrivals, but we have. So puppies are keeping me busy. And yeah, I think that is about everything. Coming up in the next couple of weeks, we don't have too much planned. There are going to be quite a few local shows going on, like we're getting into summer and we live fairly rurally, and there's quite a few just like agricultural shows that revolve around animals and livestock that are going to be going on. I know that there is one coming up fairly local to us on the weekend of the 17th to 19th of June, so we may well go down to that and have a look around. And in a couple of weeks it is going to be my little girl's birthday, so we are getting ready for that, just making sure that we will be all organised. She's only having a small party, but something that she really will enjoy doing, so we are taking her for a unicorn ride along with her best friend and her little brother. My little girl can sometimes be a bit strange in very loud, noisy party situations, like even if she knows the children there and is familiar with them. Just situations with a lot of noise and big crowds of people running around, sometimes she gets a bit overwhelmed, and we didn't want to risk doing her like the typical bouncy castle and invite everyone along sort of party in case that ended up being her reaction, because that has been the case with quite a few parties that we've attended. So yes, instead of doing that, we've decided to keep it small. It's going to be family and her one absolute best friend, and we are going to ride unicorns through the woods, and I'm sure that she's going to be, absolutely blown away by it. She is always asking if she can please meet a real unicorn and ride one, so yeah, we're trying to make that little dream come true for her. I'm really excited to see her reaction, and I expect that by the time I film my next Flosstube that will have happened, so I will let you know how it goes and hopefully get some lovely pictures. That is everything from me, and well done again to Rachel. I will drop you a message about posting your beautiful new book out to you, to everyone else. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for all your comments on my last video, not just about the competition, but there were so many other lovely comments and also quite a few suggestions about fixing the mark on my turtle piece or ways that I might try and hide it. And I really appreciate all your comments and interactions with my videos and letting me know that you enjoy them. It's really lovely to get that feedback. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. If you are not subscribed yet, please consider doing so that you don't miss out on my future videos. Take care everyone, enjoy your stitching, and I will see you in a couple of weeks. Take care. Bye.